So today in this video, we're going to talk about the best funnel for selling a info product. My name is Vishal. I've done over 20 million plus in revenue. I've spent over 10 million plus in paid ads. I have had funnels that have made 100,000 per month to over a million a month from my funnels. And even till this day, I'm still running ads. Today, we have already done $1,400. And as you can see, we're getting customers selling all info products. Okay. In the last 12 months, we have done $400,000 in this account. And I have multiple offers. I have multiple funnels. And this is what I do. And this is how I make money. Let's get right into it. Now, what is an info product? Well, info product is basically low ticket offer, high ticket offer, mid ticket offer, coaching, mastermind, whatever you may be selling, right? It's basically education more so. You're selling educational product. Where people pay you for information. Info product means information. So what is the best way to sell an information product? Throughout my career, I have done VSL funnel, video sales letter. I have done sales letter, just a normal sales letter funnel. Okay, I've done webinar, automated live webinar. We have done challenges. We have done a whole bunch of different funnels. And I'm going to talk about that in this video and what's the best way and when to use what type of funnel. So the first type of funnel that I want to talk about is a VSL, which is basically a video sales letter. Typically, this funnel is where you send ad to a page with video. There is typically no opt-in. You can have opt-in, you can have email opt-in, or you can just send them directly to a video. Now, in the past, when I say in the past, back in 2017, 2018, everybody used to have opt-in and it was kind of the normal thing. But now people are actually not doing any opt-in. Now what people do is that they just have a page with a video. So add directly to a page with a video. So back in the day, they used to have a landing page with the email and then you had to enter the email to watch the video. But now you don't even have to give an email. You can just directly go watch the video. And there are two ways. First of all is to book a call, BAC book a call. The second way is to have a purchase. So if you're selling info product, right, you can have an info product that's $1, that's, even $97 or $100, right? You can have info product that's $500. You can have info product that's $5,000. You can have a whole bunch of different price range info product. Let's say if you're selling $5,000 info product, then you're more likely to do a VSL and then book a call. They are to book a call with you and then on the call, you try to sell them to a $5,000 product. Sometimes people would do VSL with a purchase because they're selling, let's say, a $500 information product. And then after they buy the $500 information product, then you can sell them into another $5,000 backend program. And that is basically what we call mid-ticket offer to high-ticket offer. The goal of this is to liquidate, meaning if you spend $100, let's say if you spend $100 and then let's say you spend $1,000, you get two customers. They each pay $500, then you just made $1,000. And then if any of those customer go buy your $5,000 program, all of a sudden, all the $5,000 becomes your profit. So if anybody buys your 5K program, 5K becomes profit. But if you were doing this funnel number one, VSL with the video and book a call, problem is that you could be spending $1,000. And then what you have to do is you have to take a sales call. And then on the call, you have to sell them directly into $5,000. If you close anybody, the $1,000 goes back into paying the ads, right? So now your profit is only $4,000. But on top of that, you also have to pay your sales guys and you also have to pay your support team. So there's a whole bunch of different things involved in the first option. But sometimes it can work. Sometimes you can directly send them to book a call and then directly sell them. Sometimes it's better to send them to a mid-ticket offer and then later sell them to a high-ticket offer. So it's whatever you want to do. It's totally going to be up to you. But nowadays, more people like to do a mid-ticket offer. Nowadays, more people want to do this kind of funnel because cost to run ads are very, very expensive. If you are running this kind of business model, you're probably going to have a lower profit margin. That's basically what it is. If you're running a second type of business model where you have mid-ticket in the front, then what you can also do is that if your mid-ticket is not making money, let's say you only got one customer, you can actually add upsells. You can sell other things in the front end so that you can make more money, so that you can make $700, $800 per customer. So by doing so, you're not losing as much money as you would normally lose on this number one funnel. So those are the two ways to sell a info product through a video sales letter. Okay, the next one is through a webinar, which is the same thing kind of, to be honest. You can have a book a call webinar. You can have a direct to purchase webinar. So if you have a book call webinar, right, you basically have a webinar, like you can have an hour-long webinar. Sometimes people have 3-hour-long webinar. So you can do whatever you want to do. And then at the end of the webinar, you're like, hey, book a call with our team. And then again, the same thing, you sell them into your high ticket offer. Typically, if you're asking them to book a call, you're not going to sell $500, $1 or $97 product. You're typically trying to sell $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 to $100,000 product on the call, or you can directly do purchase. I have seen people sell up to $2,000 $2,000 on the webinar. So on the webinar, you can sell more. So if you have a video sales letter, which is typically shorter, it's typically about 30 minutes or less. So you can sell up to $500. But if you want to sell like $2,000 product, you have to do a webinar, and then you can sell that through that webinar. Now there are two ways you can do a webinar. So you can either have a live webinar or you can have a automated webinar. Now there are a whole bunch of different software that are going to help you do this. There are some software that make it look like a live webinar. So even though it's an automated webinar, they make it look like live webinar, because live webinar, they perform better. They just do better, right? Because in live, you're talking to a customer in real life. So it does better. But the problem with the live webinar is that it is super hard to scale, right? Because you have to be there and do a live webinar, talk to people, and you need to have a good energy. You need to make sure to do a proper job into selling them into your backend product or your mid-ticket or whatever you may be selling, right? It is kind of like a time intensive. So many people actually just try to do a automated webinar. But again, if you have the energy, do a live webinar, it's just gonna do better. And then once you get to the point where you are doing pretty good, then you can automate that whole webinar. Once it's automated, you don't even have to worry about it. And you can either automate that for a book a call, or you can either automate that for a purchase, whatever you want to do. Just like before on the VSL, many people sell $2,000 product and then they have a high ticket in the back end once again. And then that can be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 and all those things. I know a guy who had a $1,500 course on the webinar, and then he had a $30,000 mastermind in a real estate industry. And we kind of did the same thing. We actually had a $500 product for our real estate program. And then our high ticket was $7,500, $8,000, $16,000. So we sold different tiers of info products. The next way to sell a info product is through a low ticket offer or sales base. So sales base is basically this. This is how you sell a low ticket offer. And the price point when I say low ticket offer is that anything less than $97 is a low ticket offer. And for that, you're just going to use text. It's a simple text. Now, why? Because the less the price, the less the work. If the price is higher, you have to do more work. For example, on a VSL that's only 30 minutes, you can only sell up to $500. Okay. For a webinar that's 1 hour to 3 hour long, you can sell up to $2,000 program. But on a sales page where there is no video, it's just a text. And then in this case, you can sell up to $97. So if you want to sell more higher price info product, you need to spend more time with them. All right. And typically the video sales letter, you force them to watch the video sales letter. You promise them, hey, if you watch this video sales letter, you're going to learn XYZ. And then they start watching the video and you do all kinds of marketing, psychology work to sell them into whatever you have, right? The more time they spend with you, the more you can sell. That's just what it is. Compared to sales page, they don't even have to read it. They can just scroll through the sales page and then just go all the way to the end and then just click on it, try to buy. But for VSLs, they have to watch it. Like there is no skip button. Like they have to like listen to the entire video. And then after they have watched completely all the videos, then at the end, they get an option to buy or to book a call or whatever it may be. Typically, you would have sales page to sell a low ticket offer, which is anywhere from $1 to $97. And it typically works. Now, the biggest problem with a low ticket offer is that you have low ticket buyers, which means that they kind of tend to complain a little bit too much. If somebody buys a low ticket offer, like they're not going to be super high ticket buyers. You're getting like a lower quality customer. So typically you get like 1 to 3% of people who buy your low ticket convert into your backend offer. But for example, if you had somebody buy your mid ticket offer, like $500, or somebody bought your $2,000 program, you would have a way better conversion rate. For example, I know for $500, you would have around 10%. So around 10% of the people would buy into your high ticket offer. And then here you can have up to 20 to 40% actually, depending on how you structure your high ticket offer and depending on how big the price gap is. If you're selling $50,000 mastermind, you're not going to have 40% conversion rate. But if you're selling, let's say $5,000 mastermind or $10,000 mastermind, then yes, you're going to have 40% conversion rate. But typically for low ticket offer, I would say even 3% is optimistic. I'll say even like 2%, 1 to 2%, which is like super less. But the problem is that when you have low ticket offer, they complain too much. They're asking for refunds, right? They ask for a chargeback. You have phone support, right? You have email support. Oh, I didn't get this. I didn't get my login. You just have a volume of customer. Okay? You just have tons of customer and then it just becomes a too much hassle. But if you can sell $500 or $2,000 product, it's all automated. So it's just like low ticket offer, just automated and you just have less customer, which means less refund, less chargeback and less phone support or less emails. So if you can automate and figure this out for $500, $2,000 program, that's great. You will have much better life, trust me. But if you have a low ticket offer, then what you need to make money is you need upsells. You can have 1 upsells, 2 upsells, 3 upsells, 4 upsells. We have up to 4 upsells in our funnel and that's kind of mandatory. I have seen some funnels just 2 upsells and 3 upsells and it's good. Like those funnels have worked, but it also depends on the industry, right? if you're in an industry where there is a lot of open space, right? Where there is a lot of blue ocean, where other marketers have not marketed heavily to those customers, right? In that industry, you could actually have just 1 or 2 upsells and you could make money. But if you have 4 or 5 upsells, you could make a really good money. And then that's when you can justify all these customers and all this chargeback and all this phone support worth it, right? At that point, you can justify. The next thing why I like low ticket offer is that it brings me customer, okay? It brings me the most amount of customer. If I want to be the biggest brand, if I want everybody to know me, then I want to run a low ticket offer, because by doing so, I can just sell for $1 and I can get a customer. Here, I have to sell for $500. Here, I have to sell for $2,000, which means I'm excluding people. I'm saying like, hey, this is $500. If you don't have money, don't pay, don't join. That's what I'm saying. But if it's $1, if it's $5, then I can have everybody, like the whole market can be my customer. If you're selling info product, the best offer you can do is free. Free is the best offer. Like there is no other offer. But what's better than free is charging $1, $2, $5. And that will give you the people who pay money, but it still allow you to reach a tons of people. And then if you don't want all those low ticket buyers, then you can actually have $500 product, or you can have $2,000 product. So those are the ways you can sell your low ticket offers. You can sell info products. You can do video sales letter. You can do webinar. You can do sales based. And some people that I talk to, they do challenges. So I have personally not done any challenges, but I had a client in the past, she did challenges, and the challenges worked really well. If I remember, we spent $17,000 and we made back around $132,000. It was basically a money makeover kind of challenges, like money manifestation. She would help you with your finances. She would help you like how to make more money, or kind of, I have no idea. It was kind of like money manifestation kind of thing, to be honest. And it's been so long. It's been like 3-4 years already. So I don't remember now, but she did 3-day challenges. We ran ad for people to register on a landing page, and people registered it, people bought it. And when people were on the call, were on the challenges, right? It'll be like 3-day, 5-day challenges. And then the first 3 days or first 2 days is just like teaching them, like telling them like, hey, this is what you do. This is how you do things, right? And then they have homework. They have to do a certain amount of things because it's a challenge, right? So you show up, you do the work. And then towards the end, you're like, hey, the challenge is coming to an end. If you want to work with me, you can buy this thing from me. We can work together and I can help you every day. So that's when you can sell like $10,000, $20,000 program directly without even like having to do a sales call. So you could directly just send a link to customer and you can sell, let's say $5,000 program. And that's what she did. She had a $5,000 program. She would just send a link and people will just buy. Like she wouldn't even have to do a sales call. The problem with selling a $5,000 program and $20,000 program is that you have a sales guys. And the problem with that is that you have to pay them 20-25%. If you got $10,000, $2,000 of that is already gone to a salesperson. And then paying them is also not just enough. Like you have to actually manage the team. You have to hire a right closer. You have to make sure they're doing a good job. Like you have to make sure they're not making any false promises, any fake promises, right? You have to make sure they have a customer. You have to make sure the customer have proper expectation. You have to make sure your sales team have proper script. So there's just a whole bunch of different things that happens whenever you have a sales people. So I do like challenges, but it's a lot of work. I know some people that have found a way to automate challenges and they do work pretty good as well. But when challenges done right, it can work really, really well. Challenges is just like a live webinar. Live webinar done for 3 days, 5 days. Like I said, the more time you spend with them, the more money you make. If you do a video sales letter for 30 minutes, you can charge $500. If you do a webinar for 1 to 3 hours, you can charge $2,000. But if you do a challenges for 3 to 5 days, you can charge $5,000 without even having to do a sales call. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Or you can just do a sales page just like this, not even talk to anybody, right? And then just sell low ticket offers. And then you don't even have any high ticket offers at all. Or if you want, you can also sell high ticket offers, of course. But if you just want to do low ticket offer, that's possible too, right? So it's whatever you want to do. I hope you liked the video. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do like it, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to learn more from me, if you want to connect, just go to my Facebook, send me a friend request, send me a message. I love talking to people. I love hearing about the things that you guys have going on as well. I will see you on my next video. Bye.